Good evening. You're watching the News at 6 with me, Ishan Russell. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and one of the stories that has been developing not just today but over the past couple of days is about External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and Lalit Modi and the help that has been provided to him. Now, embroiled in this controversy is Rajasthan Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje and her son Dushyant Singh. What is this controversy all about and what could be the fallout? We'll be talking about that to a special guest as well. But first, the headlines we're tracking right now. Congress targets Vasundhara Raje, demands her resignation along with Sushma Swaraj for helping former IPL chief Lalit Modi in UK. The Delhi police claims 21 MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party have criminal cases against them, will file charge sheets against them. Government hikes minimum support price for Kharif crops by up to 275 rupees per quintal. And Secretary of State John Kerry speaks to Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, expresses concern over strained bilateral ties between India and Pakistan. Well, our top story this evening, the Congress led the attack on the BJP leaders Sushma Swaraj and Vasundhara Raje today, a day after Lalit Modi said that both had helped him. The party said External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj must clarify if she met the former IPL chief at a London hotel last year without representatives of the Indian High Commission.
Of Rajasthan Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje, along with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, a day after former IPL boss Lalit Modi claimed they helped him with his travel papers in the United Kingdom.
वसुंधरा राजे सिंधिया और ललित मोदी के संबंधों के बारे में तो सब जानते हैं कि पहले उनके जो टेन्योर में ललित मोदी ही पूरा काम संभालते थे, जितना भी डील्स होते थे वो सब यही करते थे.
When you have done this, you should also accept that this is not inconsistent with rules. Why Modi ji should not come out and tell, yes, on humanitarian ground, I have instructed, because more or less Modi ji also very close to the other Modi.
Lalit Modi told a TV channel that Raje agreed to secretly back his application for immigration to the UK in 2011 when she was the opposition leader. He also confirmed seeking Swaraj's help for getting British travel documents to travel to Portugal and that he was close to her family.
जो कुछ करना चाहिए वो कर उनको अरेस्ट करना चाहिए. वो तो वहाँ मजा कर रहे हैं और हम यहाँ लड़ाई कर रहे हैं, तो पहले उसको अरेस्ट तो करो.
Lalit Modi mentioned former Union Ministers Sharad Pawar, Praful Patel and Rajiv Shukla as the people who helped him.
ये इशू है सिक्योरिटी का, तो मैंने उनसे ज़रूर बात की कि भाई आपको यहाँ आना है और आने की तैयारी हो, तो कुछ बात हो सकती है गवर्नमेंट के साथ, उसको हम बोल सकते हैं कि जिससे आपको यहाँ कोई मदद हो जाएगी.
Congress leaders dismissed Modi's allegations, with former Union Minister P. Chidambaram stating that letters written to British authorities on Lalit Modi case during the UPA rule will answer the accusations. Congress leaders have also attributed the visa controversy to infighting in the BJP.
Mr. Lalit Modi has made some charges against the UPA government. The charges are laughable and do not deserve a reply. The complete answer to the charges can be found in the letters exchanged between Mr. Osborne and me. In a way, Mr. Arun Jaitley, the finance minister, has repelled the charges by confirming that the ED was indeed investigating 16 cases against Mr. Lalit Modi.
Lalit Modi is living outside India for several years now. He faces 16 Enforcement Directorate cases and a notice from the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
An associate editor at the Tribune, KV Prasad, now joins us to help us understand the story and the dynamics of it a little better. To tell us, as far as the fallout is concerned, do you see any kind of resignation happening? Because there is indeed mounting pressure, and it's not just Sushma Swaraj anymore. Now it's a Rajasthan Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje, and there are also accusations against her son, Dushyant Singh.
Well, so far as there are two clear aspects to it. One is the case of the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. The government and the party have already made their position very clear that they have dismissed these allegations as baseless, and also that they are firmly behind Ms. Swaraj. So to that extent, there was clarity right from day one on Sunday when the actual controversy came out in the public domain. And since then, yesterday we had the finance minister also coming up and telling what he did. Today, the communications minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, also endorsed it, saying that the senior leadership of the BJP and the government are on the same page. So I think there's a very fine distinction. Whereas when asked about the issue of Vasundhara Raje, he said we'll have to go into it. And thereby, I think, leaving the issue for Ms. Raje, who obviously made some remarks when initially the story broke out. But as it now developing, we'll have to wait and see. The opposition is certainly mounting pressure. Congress in Rajasthan, of course, is in the opposition, also at the center. So I think it's a developing story on that front too.
All right, so the story might be developing, indeed, skeletons tumbling out every day. Lalit Modi making statements and allegations as well, and really involving everybody across party lines. So in terms of legality, is there a legal hassle over here of having a conversation or meeting Lalit Modi for that matter? Because he is, in the eyes of the law, he is on the wrong. So in that sense, because it's not just Sushma Swaraj or Vasundhara Raje, there are a whole host of leaders, Praful Patel, Sharad Pawar, all of them have met him when he's, despite the fact that he's been a fugitive from the law.
There are two aspects. I'm not too much of on the legalese because I'm not trained on that aspect. But the fact remains, what people are looking at is why is a senior minister did what she did, and of course she explained there was a humanitarian reason behind that. Wife of that person suffering from a illness which required his medical attention, required his presence for a medical intervention, medical requirement. That having been said, but Vasundhara Raje thing is what is more that people are now looking at far more differently from a different lens. Of course, there is nothing on record to suggest the papers that have been in circulation for the last 24 hours or a little more than that do not carry a signatures. At least that is what has been being shared in the public domain. But all this raises the question where people are talking of the propriety or impropriety of this conduct, particularly.
All right, so it ultimately comes down to that. But as far as the legal side is concerned, not much, because that quid pro quo has not really been established for now. But my final question to you would be, often with the BJP also, there is a lot of internal politics at play. And Vasundhara Raje and Sushma Swaraj both have been known to be in camps that have often opposed the present Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. So in that sense, do you see a little bit of the infighting of the BJP also coming to the fore?
Well, I don't really, right now it doesn't look that it has come from very much at the top, but it could be quite possible when politicians of different shades and different camps work together or do not, there is bound to such thing. And I think in the case of Ms. Swaraj, if you remember just 2 days ago, Kirti Azad, the BJP MP from Bihar, tweeted something which kind of indicated, or kind of the innuendo was that it was some insider's job. Well, when people asked this question to Mr. Jaitley yesterday, he chose to skip the answer to that question. That is perfectly within his domain. He didn't want to take an answer on that. Of course, politics do have disagreements, and there is always these rival camps that are operating. But we'll have to look at it, the timing of it. Why now? Because politics timings is very important, and there is also theory that this could be a collateral damage of something happening elsewhere, for instance, the British politics. So this is all theories. We don't really know, because we'll have to wait and see when the eventual events start arriving at a destination.
Absolutely. The story is still unfolding. It's a developing story. But Mr. K. V. Prasad, thank you very much for coming in and helping us understand the nuances of the story a little better. Well, moving on now, the minimum support price for paddy has been raised by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. Experts say that the hike in MSP is a politically generous and economically rational decision.
Paddy farmers have reason to rejoice with the government raising the minimum support price for the crop. The CCEA approved a proposal to raise the MSP of paddy by 50 rupees to 1,410 rupees per quintal for this year. The superior variety of paddy was also increased by 50 rupees to 1,450 rupees per quintal.
जिस तरह से recommendations था paddy per ₹15 comparison to previous year, then jowar per 40, बाकी रागी पर 100, मूंग पर उड़द पर किया है। लेकिन एक कैबिनेट ने एक्सेप्शन किया है कि बोनस ऑफ ₹200 per quintal for pulses over and above the recommendations of the Agriculture Price Commission.
The Union Cabinet has also approved a bonus of ₹200 per quintal on pulses. Experts say the hike in MSP will balance the need to control inflationary pressures.
देखिए, MSP हम डिक्लेयर करते हैं कि किसान आगे जो खेती करता है इसको ध्यान में रख के करें कि ये MSP हम आगे के लिए तय कर रहे हैं। आगे के लिए किसान इससे उसको बल मिलेगा और आगे इसकी खेती ज्यादा करेगा।
MSP is the minimum support price set by the government at which farmers' produce is procured by the Food Corporation of India. The increase in the MSP of paddy is in line with the recommendations of the Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. Rice production is pegged at 102.54 million tons in the ongoing 2014-15 crop year, as against the record 106.65 million tons in the previous year. An increased MSP may encourage farmers for greater sowing of paddy. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi today attended a protest meeting of sanitation workers in New Delhi. He hit out at both the centre and the central and the government in Delhi, saying that both had made false promises to the people in order to grab power.
Making a pro-poor pitch in the national capital, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi joined protesting sanitation workers at Jantar Mantar, the second time in 6 days. Addressing the gathering, Rahul accused both BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party of making false promises to the poor and ignoring their plight.
आप लोग झाड़ू मारते हो, आपको कहते हैं आपको परमानेंट दिए कि नहीं किया जाएगा। क्यों? क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान का विकास करना है। जब गरीब लोग सवाल उठाते हैं तो कहते भैया विकास करना है, और जब हम पूछते हैं इस विकास का गरीब लोगों को क्या फायदा हो रहा है तो कोई जवाब नहीं मिलता है। ऐसा विकास हमें नहीं चाहिए।
Keeping up the tirade against the Prime Minister, Rahul said he was depriving the poor of their rights in the name of development and assured MCD workers of his unrelenting support in getting their dues from the government.
दिल्ली में आपके हक बनते हैं, आप इस शहर को साफ रखते हो, आप सफाई कर्मचारी नहीं हो, आप दिल्ली की सेना हो, आप हिंदुस्तान की सेना हो। मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूं कि आप घबराओ मत, कितना भी समय लग जाए, कितना भी पसीना आ जाए, कितने भी स्टेज टूट जाए, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है।
Leaders of both BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party hit right back at the Congress leader, questioning what his party had done when it was in power for 15 years in Delhi.
राहुल गांधी जी की दादी माँ इंदिरा गांधी ने 1971 में गरीबी हटाओ का नारा देकर चुनाव जीता था, और आज 45 साल के बाद में भी राहुल गांधी वही गरीबों की भाषा में बात करते हैं, यानी 45 साल लोगों को गरीब ही रखा।
On Tuesday, Rahul had attacked Prime Minister Modi for criticizing the Manrega scheme launched by the UPA government. He asked Modi to visit villages in person to see what benefits the people were reaping from the scheme instead of merely touring foreign nations. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Aam Aadmi Party seems to be sinking deeper into controversies, with the Delhi police deciding to file charge sheet against 21 of its MLAs in 25 different cases. The party, however, claims this to be a conspiracy against it in a bid to divert attention away from real issues.
Delhi police is filing charge sheets against 21 MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party in various cases. Out of the 25 cases in which charge sheets will be filed, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been named in 6. Besides the Chief Minister, Deputy CM Manish Sisodia, Power Minister Satyendra Jain and MLAs Ram Nivas Goyal, Somnath Bharti and Jarnail Singh will have charge sheets against their names. The kind of cases are also varied. There is one pertaining to fraud and one for misbehaving with a woman.
उद्देश्य ये है कि जल्दी से जल्दी इन्वेस्टिगेशन की जाए। इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जो भी फैक्ट्स सामने आते हैं, उन फैक्ट्स को मद्देनजर रखते हुए जो भी हमें कोर्ट के सामने रिपोर्ट पेश करनी है, वो हम रिपोर्ट पेश करें।
The party has called it politics of revenge.
आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बनने के बाद
पूरे देश में ये माहौल बनाने की कोशिश मोदी जी की पुलिस और मोदी जी ये कर रहे हैं कि सारे अपराधी हिंदुस्तान के आम आदमी पार्टी में आ गए। हमारे 21 विधायक ऐसे हो गए जिनके कारण पूरे देश में आतंक की स्थिति पैदा हो गई। ऐसा न करें। मैं उनसे निवेदन करना चाहता हूं, कानून के मुताबिक काम करें।
However, the opposition parties have criticized the Delhi government for the many cases against its leaders.
पब्लिक लाइफ में आकर अगर आप मुकदमों से डरो फिर आप पब्लिक लाइफ में आओ मत। और वो इस बात को अगर उनका कोई शेड्यूल होगा, कोई टाइम फ्रेम ऐसा होगा जिसमें उसमें उनके खिलाफ मुकदमे बनने तो बनेंगे। उसमें किसी से खबर भड़काने के लिए नहीं है।
कभी भी कोई केस हुआ है, आम आदमी पार्टी ने किसी न किसी के ऊपर तोहमत मंडी है, कांग्रेस के ऊपर या बीजेपी पे या किसी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी पे, और ये तोहमतें लगाने का एक कारोबार शुरू कर रखा।
The police's decision is likely to increase the problems of the Aam Aadmi Party, already grappling with a fake degree case and one of domestic violence against two of its leaders. With inputs from Ravindra Singh Shoran and Anu Diwan, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
After Nestlé's Maggi noodles, now Mother Dairy finds itself in a soup. After accusations of its milk samples containing detergent, Mother Dairy today denied all charges. On Tuesday, the UP Food and Drug Administration had claimed to have found detergent in one of the milk samples. But Mother Dairy defended the test was done on loose milk samples collected at the village level, which were yet to be accepted by them. Mother Dairy Managing Director clarified that they've sent the same samples for retesting to a lab in Kolkata and the results are awaited. He also claims their products undergo 4 levels of testing at input, processing, dispatch and even at the market level.
कलकत्ता रेफरल फूड लेबोरेटरी की जांच रिपोर्ट अभी मिली है मुझको कल ही, जिसमें कि ये दोनों ही सैंपल में एक सैंपल में डिटर्जेंट पाया गया है और विजातीय वसा, और दूसरे सैंपल में केवल विजातीय वसा है, डिटर्जेंट नहीं। एक सैंपल अनसेफ है, दूसरा सब स्टैंडर्ड है।
All milk which comes in to the collection center moves to the chilling center and from the chilling center to the factory, and it goes through repeated tests on a 100% basis and not on a sample basis. So it is a little unfortunate that this sample has been attributed to Mother Dairy packaged milk.
The noted architect Charles Correa died last night in Mumbai after a brief illness. He was 84. The last rites will be performed in Mumbai tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered his condolences over Correa's death. The Prime Minister also tweeted Charles Correa's architectural marvels are widely cherished, reflecting his brilliance, innovative zeal and wonderful aesthetic sense. Correa played a defining role in developing architecture of post-independence India, including the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial in Ahmedabad and Madhya Pradesh Assembly Building. He was also the chief architect of the Navi Mumbai. Correa won several awards, including Padma Shri in 1972 and the Padma Vibhushan, the second highest civilian honour, in 2006. Time now for all the other national news and updates in Nationwide. Clashes disrupted normal life in Kashmir after separatists called a strike to protest the recent killings of civilians in the Sopore district. All shops, business establishments, schools and colleges were closed and public transport was off-roads. Security was tight as residents demanded the government to reveal the identity of those who launched the attacks. The Enforcement Directorate filed 2 money laundering cases against former PWD Minister of Maharashtra Chhagan Bhujbal. The cases relate to 2 allotments on Tuesday. 16 properties belonging to Bhujbal and his family members, including a bungalow with a helipad and a 65-acre plot, were searched across Mumbai, Thane, Nashik and Pune. The Maharashtra government has approved a draft bill of the anti-spitting law in the state. The law combines monetary punishment of 1,000 rupees for first-time offenders with mandatory community service at a public hospital or a government school. Second-time offenders will have to shell out 3,000 rupees and perform 3-day community service. The CBI has filed an FIR against Congress leader and former Union Textile Minister Shankar Singh Waghela and 6 others in a land deal scam worth 1,700 crore rupees. The CBI has alleged that Waghela and the former chairman of the National Textile Corporation, Ramachandran Pillai, sold a prime property in Mumbai at throwaway prices to a private company. Time for a break right now, but on the other side, we'll get you all the international news. The Pope has urged countries to take in migrants and criticize those who refuse to do so. Details on that after the break.
warm welcome to our special report, the program that brings you a ground zero view from whichever part of the country the Rajya Sabha TV cameras are travelling. It is the same village where the Telangana agitation actually began. We at Rajya Sabha TV bring you the first pictures of the landfall site. This is the main nerve centre where the legal battle for the Kaveri water dispute began. When you are moving around this Niyamgiri hill area, there are 41 streams like these which you have to cross.
No one understands India better than we do. Watch special report only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Time now for some international news now. And US Secretary of State John Kerry spoke to Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif today, and he raised concerns about the rising tensions between India and Pakistan. His call comes just a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi called his Pakistani counterpart to extend Ramzan wishes.
A day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended Ramzan wishes to his Pakistani counterpart Nawaz Sharif, the US expressed enormous concerns over the straining bilateral ties between India and Pakistan. The US Secretary of State John Kerry had a telephonic conversation with Sharif. He said, "These are two very, very important countries playing a critical role with respect to regional interests. And it is very important that there be no misinterpretation or miscalculation with respect to any of the back and forth and the empowerment some entities might feel as a result of that." According to Kerry, Sharif was extremely forthcoming after his conversation with Modi. Pakistan and India were involved in a war of words recently, with Sharif coming down hard on the Indian leadership for remarks about an army operation in Myanmar last week. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Rajya Singh Rathore had called the army action a message to other countries that was interpreted as a warning to Pakistan. India, on the other hand, is concerned over an agreement on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the issue of migrants in the Mediterranean is slowly becoming a ticking time bomb, waiting to burst into Europe's face. Italy and Greece, that have already sent more than 100,000 boat people, have arrived on their shores this year. But eastern nations like the Czech Republic, Poland and Hungary say they're opposed to quotas requiring them to take in migrants in thousands. Here's more.
Close to 150 African migrants are camping out for days at Italy's Mediterranean border, seeking entry into France and other destinations in North Europe. France has refused to take them. The Italian police shoved some of the migrants onto buses, an indication of how inept Europe has been in dealing with the crisis. The UN, however, says sealing international borders is impossible.
We cannot fight smuggling rings which are adaptable, technology savvy. People who come across the Mediterranean are survival migrants. They try to escape their dire circumstances, and they will come, no matter what.
There is still no consensus on dealing with the migrant crisis. Last month, the EU proposed some bold reforms, including military and intelligence solutions, like destruction of boats used by smugglers, relocating 40,000 migrants who arrived in Italy and Greece, and settling 20,000 migrants from outside the EU. However, at a meeting on Tuesday, EU ministers failed to agree on a plan to distribute asylum seekers more equally across all 28 EU states. But human rights groups say the plan represents the bare minimum of what is needed to deal with the humanitarian crisis.
Preghiamo per tanti fratelli e sorelle che cercano rifugio lontano dalla loro terra, che cercano una casa dove poter vivere senza timore.
Efforts to reach an agreement over the Mediterranean migrant crisis will continue at an EU summit next week. More than 1,800 migrants died in the Mediterranean so far this year, a 20-fold increase since 2014. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
For more international news and updates, this is Global Buzz. The Greek central bank warned that the country could exit from the Eurozone and the European Union. This after the government and its international creditors failed to reach a deal on economic reforms. Greece has blocked release of 7.2 billion euros in bailout funds. The central bank also warned that without a deal, economic slowdown will accelerate. Former Turkish President Süleyman Demirel died at the age of 90 today at the Guven Hospital in Ankara, where he was undergoing treatment for a respiratory tract infection. Demirel served as Prime Minister 7 times through the 1960s to the 1990s and was President from 1993 to the year 2000. North Korea is facing its worst drought in a century. The main rice-growing provinces are badly affected and over 30% rice paddies are parching up. The country suffered a devastating drought in the 90s when thousands had died. However, this time it is unlikely to be as deadly because of recent agricultural reforms. South Korea reported 8 new cases of MERS, increasing the total to 20. A total of 162 people have been infected in the outbreak, largest outside Saudi Arabia. The vast majority of MERS infections and deaths have been reported in Saudi Arabia, where more than 1,000 people have been infected since 2012 and about 454 have died. All right, let's talk about the passing away of Ron Clarke now. Ron Clarke, in fact, was Australian former world champion runner and former Gold Coast mayor, and he passed away at the age of 78 in Edinburgh today. Largely self-coached, Clarke never won an Olympic gold medal despite officially breaking 17 world records at one point, holding records for every distance from 2 miles to 20 kilometers. In 1956, he was chosen to light the Olympic flame during the opening ceremony for the Melbourne Olympics. Later, he served as mayor of the Gold Coast from 2004 to 2012. He was awarded the Order of Australia and honoured as a member of the British Empire. Well, it's time now for all the sports action in SportsBeat. The Indo-Romanian tennis pair of Rohan Bopanna and Florin Merghia entered the men's doubles quarterfinals of the Jerry Weber Open. The second seeds defeated the Czech-Ukrainian pair of Luka Rosol and Sergei 2-6, 6-3, 10-8. The pair will next face Croatia's Martin Deranja and Finland's Henri Kottinen in quarters, who beat Alexander Zverev and Misha Zverev in the first round. Former world champion Vishwanathan Anand was held to an easy draw by Fabiano Caruana of Italy in the first round of the Norway Chess Tournament. It was a decent start by Anand in what could be called the strongest tournament of the year. The Indian ace has 4 more white games to play in the tournament. Anand will now face Holland's Anish Giri, who started the competition on a bright note with a victory over Russia's Alexander Grishuk. Argentina started their Copa America campaign on a winning note against the defending champions Uruguay today. The World Cup finalists won the match by a single strike. Striker Sergio Aguero scored the lone goal of the match in the 56th minute, heading across from Zabaleta. For Uruguay, Diego Forlan had the best chance to equalize in the 75th minute, but missed an open goal. Top seed Andy Murray made a winning start to his grass court season, defeating Taiwan's Liu Yanhus 6-2, 7-5 at the Queen's Club on Tuesday. However, world number 10 Rafael Nadal suffered a setback when he lost his opening match to Ukraine's Alexander Dolgopolov in 3 sets. And that's all from us. Goodbye.